Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. I don't make a video just to make a video. I don't talk about stuff that you just don't need to know. This information we break down on this channel is vital. This isn't just for silver stackers. This isn't just for investors. This is for your friends, your family, your cousins, your dog, the guy at the gas station you say hi to every morning when you get your cup of coffee. Talking about financial destruction or financial freedom. Which path are you going to go? Which path are you going to help others choose to go? Because the reality is, most people don't even know what's going on, so they don't even have a choice. So on that note, let's jump into the video. So precious metals is definitely the best alternative. And I say that for this reason. There is no solution. There's no way to fix the problem we're in. There's no way to get out of $27 trillion of debt. There's no way to try to help this pandemic without throwing more trillions of dollars, weakening the dollar even more. It's like a dog backed in a corner. These candidates knew that throwing trillions of dollars out is going to potentially kill the dollar, but they had no choice. If they wanted a chance to win, they had to say that T word attached with stimulus. But here's the thing, at what cost? They knew that doing that is going to financially bankrupt and actually potentially collapse the dollar. And that's scary because the US dollar is the world's reserve currency. Everyone across the globe relies on the dollar's strength. But what are we going to do? Tell everyone, hey, we need to keep the US dollar strength strong. The dollar index needs to stay high, so we're not going to give you a stimulus check. What are they going to do? They had no choice. And that's an interesting thing to think about, because looking forwards, there's probably going to be more situations like that. Also meaning precious metals is definitely the alternative. Stocks are not the alternative because they're pegged to the dollar, right? It's like switching seats on the Titanic. Precious metals is the only thing that makes sense. Bitcoin is probably a close second, but if you cannot hold it, you don't own it. That's the saying of the stackers. Precious metals is definitely safer and smarter, in my opinion. So when we're talking about pandemic insurance, there's definitely a lot of different things we could talk about. I'm gonna to make this video timely, I'm going to cover this article, break down the points they make. I'm gonna share my opinion off of, taking note off of, or side noting off of all the points they make, and put it in the comments if I bring up a interesting point or an interesting topic, or they say something that sparks something in yourself that got your mind going. Leave it in the comments. I want this channel to be a platform where we can all kind of conversate and talk about things from different perspectives, because that's where real knowledge comes from, is one topic getting 30, 40, 100 different perspectives, 100 different opinions on one single topic. That's where we could cover all angles and really become open-minded. So links in the description. Let's jump into the video. So here's a summary. The role of insurance in dealing with this pandemic fallout has been underrated. Not all nations have the same flexibility to take on debt, and that may turn their advantage as inflation ramps up. Some emerging economies have restored to selling gold to help fund fiscal shortfalls. And actually, that's what the United States used to do when there was gold confiscation. If you guys remember a couple weeks ago, probably a couple weeks ago, I made a video titled, they can take your gold, they can confiscate your gold. And that actually happened several times throughout history, actually several times in the United States, where when the country, when the nation is in definitely in a bad sticky situation financially, they ask people to turn in their gold and they pay them for it. They're never just gonna kick down your door and go in your safe with guns all over, like aimed at you, saying, "Give us your precious metals." It's not like that. I think there's actually a couple cases where like it was a law to turn like it was crazy. I remember covering one of those stories, but usually they're gonna pay you for it, right? But and that's interesting because if they're in a financial hole, how would paying you for your gold make any difference? And you want to know why? Because gold is real money. Gold is real wealth, not dollars. The only reason America, the United States, is the richest country in the world is because we own the most gold. So no matter how much money we have, no matter how many dollars we print, that's irrelevant. That has nothing to do about our wealth. It's about gold and silver. So imagine applying that to an individual on a person-on-person level. You're telling me that someone who has $100,000 in their safe compared to someone who has 5 ounces of gold, the person that has the gold is more wealthy, and yes, they are. So bailouts and stimulus are not the best solution for this pandemic. And what is insurance, perhaps? I know it is far from perfect, but I think it could still be the best overall option. On some level, it's surprising that the role of insurance has gotten so little attention in the crisis. After all, us and future generations will have to pay for all these massive bailouts. And that's the thing that worries me, right? Where's this money coming from? Because we don't have it, right? Throwing out all this money. We don't have that money to give out. So it's got to come from somewhere, right? It's got to come from somewhere. There's going to be a cost to pay. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When you do something, there's a consequence. People aren't thinking about that. People are thinking about the immediate gratification, that immediate thought. They're not playing the tape all the way through. Of course, most of that responsibility has fallen on government so far. Some have resorted to printing, while others have turned to selling a portion of their gold reserves. In my view, that points to the ultimate solution. We should all be aiming to self-insure. And gold promises to be a top choice to the end. And that's kind of what I was talking about in the video, in the beginning of the video, where, a lot of people don't even know what to do. They don't even have a choice because they don't understand our financial system. They don't understand the value, the benefits, the reason why people stack gold and silver. Most people actually think gold and silver is valuable because it's shiny, because it looks cool. It's so much deeper than that. So pandemic insurance, underrated. And this article is taking a nice little turn that I'm actually pleasantly surprised with. When I cover articles, I kind of like skim through it, look at the read the each title, but I try not to dig too deep into the article so I can kind of experience the same feeling as you when we go along. And I do like how they're talking about a different type of solution that is kind of swept under the rug and how that could affect. I like thinking about theoretical options or the what ifs or the what could we do, especially when we're looking at something like this and how precious metals are intertwined in this. So the GPMB suggests that proper preparation for the pandemic would instead have cost about $5 per person, or about $39 billion. Maybe not. These massive programs tend to snowball and take on a life of their own. But what about the role of insurance? We already have it for infrequent disasters like fires, earthquakes, or flooding. I'm no actuary, and I know that global pandemics are thankfully a lot less frequent than those of other catastrophes. Undoubtedly, the risks and costs to adequately pricing premiums against pandemic losses are complex. Insurance companies themselves sometimes turn to their reinsurers and when the risks are too large for them to take on their own. And this is a very interesting thing to think about. Like investing into self-insurance when there is a pandemic. Silver stackers, people that buy precious metals, we already do that naturally. So it's almost like we're telling other people to invest in the precious metals for all the same reasons we do, but give them a scary scenario which makes so they have a reason to. Most people believe in the US dollar. Most people don't understand the massive debt we're in. Most people don't understand the rate the dollar's headed. So if you gave them another type of fear, a fear factor, another type of catastrophic way that makes sense for them to start investing in gold and silver, they probably would. But when you talk about, oh, the dollar's collapsing, you got to buy silver, for the reasons we do stack, all of it, all the several reasons we do, it's not gonna be the same. You gotta say something like, you need to start buying gold and silver for the next global pandemic, or if there is one, and I'm sure they would start buying it. So, but like this article says right here, but logically, if global pandemics are rare, 1 in 50 or 1 in 100, your currencies, then it would stand to reason that premiums might be low. In part because insurers would likely have decades during which to collect and build reserves. One thing is clear: there has been a notable difference between how developed and developing nations are reacting to the fallout of this pandemic crisis. And then you have, comparing West versus East, the different types of plans they have, the different types of ways these two are, I guess, building or trying to recover. And that's an interesting thing, because it's like to recover, we have to start back over. And even just like this, when Biden took office, Trump already had the plan happening for 6 months. Biden comes in, and now he has to, everything starts over. So it's almost like we're starting from ground zero again, because now we implement his plan, but that plan also has to work out the kinks. It has to get the ball rolling again, right? So it's almost gonna leave a gap of like 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer, for things to get the ball rolling. And by that time, things can get way worse and maybe even over flood his all-time goal. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of, let me know, put this in the comments where you're from. There is lockdowns now from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. where you can't leave your house from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. You can't leave your house. So lockdowns are happening again. Things are getting worse. Numbers are increasing. And it just looks like there really isn't any light at the end of the tunnel yet. So I do like how they said build your own insurance policy, because that is literally what silver stackers do. I mean, we do it for different reasons than most of the people would be doing it in this scenario. But the bottom line is we do, and we're always prepared. If you're not prepared, you're setting yourself up for failure. You got to be prepared. You got to be financially prepared. Like in the beginning of this video, I said it's either A, financial destruction, or B, financial freedom. We invest because we want to live financially free. We don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. We don't want to have to worry about our bills. And the way that things are going, especially since this pandemic has kind of sped things up times 10, right? Because regardless, even if this pandemic never happened, I would still be making daily videos telling you guys why to invest in the precious metals, because dollars would still be declining. I would still be making videos about similar stuff, even if this pandemic was not happening right now. But since it did happen, it just sped things up a lot faster. So things are going to get a lot worse a lot faster. The dollar is going to decline a lot worse a lot faster. So now we got to be in our A game. Now we have to be prepared, because we were not expecting this to happen this fast. So we have a much smaller time frame, and we got to make sure that our ducks in a row. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, or at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I post daily videos every single day, giving you guys the newest, latest, freshest in the information in the world of precious metals, right? What the markets are doing, why they're affected that way, and more importantly, what you should do about it. You got to be subscribed. I cover critical stuff. Like I said, I don't tell you stuff, I don't talk about stuff that you do not need to know. Everything I say, every video I post is vital to watch as an investor if you want to be successful, because you cannot blindly invest nowadays and expect success. It's not realistic. So make sure you subscribe. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.